4, 3,
2, 1.
Put everything down and crank your speakers up.
It's time for
The Realest Podcast.
Oh yeah!
We got us a new world champion!
What is going on, guys? You're listening to the Realest Podcast, and welcome to July 11th, 2017 Smackdown Live Review. That little weird noise you heard at the very beginning when the glass was supposed to break. I got a new headset, new mix. I'm still messing with the audio with it. Still trying to get everything fixed and correct. Joined by Andrew Bass as always. Yesterday there wasn't a Monday Night Raw review because my buddy in the military, yesterday was his last day in town, and we went and saw a movie at 10 o'clock out of all times when Raw ends, which Raw last night was actually really good. Yes, mark the time, 9:09. I actually really enjoyed Monday Night Raw. And SmackDown really didn't do that much to really impress me tonight.
Well, see, it's just the thing. Like, Monday Night Raw, like, the past few weeks, have literally left us with all the questions. What's going to happen next? There's so many things that we wanted to know about going on with what is Roman Reigns heel. Are they going to do this with him? Are they going to do that with him? What happened to Braun Strowman? How long is Braun Strowman going to be out? What's this going on with Kurt Angle and the secret that's going to be exposed that would ruin him and his marriage? You know, it's like there's all these things that are so hyped up that we're looking forward to. It's such a huge surprise coming from Raw. This is normally content we're getting from SmackDown, and the roles have sort of reversed in recent weeks.
Yeah, I think for the first time ever, I was actually like wondering, I wonder what Roman and what's going to happen with that situation. And I mean, this isn't the Raw, review, but goodness, that promo between Brock, Joe, and Roman was great.
No, it was fantastic. They all did the right thing, and like one of my favorite moments of that was when Brock got right in Joe's face. He looked like he was about to clock him. He actually legit looked like he was pissed off with him, and it was amazing. Yeah,
absolutely. And now we are with SmackDown, and SmackDown opens up with AJ Styles basically reintroducing the U.S. Open Challenge, which is good. I thought Cena did that well. And it seems like we're going to be getting a Cena versus AJ Styles match in the future for it.
Or it looked that way until Rusev and Kevin Owens came out and kind of ruined the fun.
Yeah, I honestly and truthfully think we'll get it in the future.
I'm actually having a really tough time believing that Kevin Owens is injured.
I don't think he is.
How many he took bumps today?
He worked all the house shows all weekend long, so I think that rumor is not there. It's just, part of me just thinks that it was one of those, we're going to market it, and we're going to make it a, we're going to try to, make people say, hey, we should go to house shows. I think, I think I've talked to you on the phone about this, and you can catch us talking about this more on Keeping It Real. Going to be going up Thursday. We're going to be recording it Thursday. So, I think I told you on the phone, I'll say this now. I think they picked the wrong building to do the angle of, swapping titles, and they've done this in the past where they've had house shows swap titles. Michael Andrews says, I think Jinder's a good champion, but he just isn't worthy. He lost way too much for way too long. He should have had at least 4 rivalry wins before a title shot in his case.
I totally would agree with that. When he first went for the opportunity, I didn't think that he was going to win it because of the fact that he was basically a jobber like a month before that. But in all honesty, if you're not pleased with how Jinder Mahal has been as a champion, I'm like very surprised, because like I could even argue that he's put some legitimacy back into that championship. as of late, because before we had Bray Wyatt and we had Randy Orton with the title, and it just didn't have the same. It didn't have that same feeling, and even before that, John Cena held the title, and it still didn't have any meaning. And John Cena lost it in what, a month. So like
Few
having
weeks.
Jinder have it, yeah, it was like a few weeks. So I mean, with Jinder having it, and seemed like they're giving him a legitimate title run. I think it's needed, and I actually I think Jinder Mahal is doing a good job. He's definitely drawing the heat from the crowd. I'm liking the Singh brothers coming to his aid. He has that mini faction going. I honestly think they made a good decision with Jinder, and I think that should serve as an example for the rest of the roster, where they should give opportunities to people that really don't get them, like Jinder Mahal. There's other guys that are deserving of a nice little title run, like the Perfect 10, Ty Dillinger. And it seemed like they kind of squashed him tonight, and I was a little upset about that.
With I think Jinder Mahal needs more opponents before I will just go off and say, yeah, what Jinder has is good. It's a good run. I mean, he's only faced Randy Orton, and this is going to be the fourth installment of this, and it needs to be the last. And it seems like it will be the last. And if it is, then we'll look forward to SummerSlam. Jinder should have started with a less relevant championship. I think that's the point, though, is you get him at the top, and now people are mad that out of all people, Jinder Mahal is the WWE champion. It makes people mad. So it's understandable why he's the champion, and why they're doing it. I don't think he's doing a bad job with it. I get what people are saying, that he should win more, but we can't say that he hasn't paid his dues. For years, he was
I'm going to go on record saying this: he hasn't lost a match since he's been pushed on SmackDown Live.
No, and the champion should never lose.
So, that there's that. He hasn't lost any matches. And I would have been okay with him losing tonight if he lost because of Orton. But instead we saw 10 minutes of Ty Dillinger just getting completely just dominated.
And I don't mind.
And I was not okay with that.
I don't
And they
mind
just,
it.
I mean, come on. I mean, you know how I feel about Ty Dillinger. The guy deserves better than what he's getting.
Yeah, but there's nothing
And,
for him. And there's people that are better than him that deserve, and he's just not there yet. That's what
I
sucks
mean,
about when.
they're turning him into Dolph Ziggler. That's what they're doing.
No, I wouldn't go along those lines, because for one, Ziggler gets better matches than what Dillinger's getting. So they're somewhat protecting Dillinger, even though he did get squashed tonight. In the long run, he had a good match with Jinder, even though it was a 10-minute match. He showed what he could do. I was on the same thing with Cesaro a couple years ago. Cesaro wasn't getting squashed, but he was having really good matches, but in the long run, he kept losing them. So I kept thinking, okay, you know what? I'm becoming a fan of Cesaro. So if he keeps showing up, his time will come. It's just like Sami Zayn. You can't say that Sami Zayn doesn't deserve it more than, Ty Dillinger.
Yeah, but with the way that they're doing it now, it doesn't seem like that's what they're going to do with it.
Yeah, but we'll see. I mean, it's just too soon to tell. Way too soon to tell with it. And again, I think that there's just nothing for him. And doing that, I mean, people look at Ty Dillinger with, as a serious threat, and Jinder beating him gives him a big win. So, Randy got one last week. Jinder gets one this week. Next week is going to be just either they'll have a tag team match, for a dumb tag team match like Kevin Owens with Jinder Mahal versus Randy Orton and AJ Styles, something stupid like that. Or they'll just have some promos.
Right.
So that's what you'll look forward to next week. But I wouldn't go. It's easy to see this coming, and it doesn't really bother me that Ty Dillinger is getting squashed. I mean, people are fans, and people are going to be bothered by it. But at the end of the day, you had to see this coming. If you didn't,
Oh yeah.
then
Yeah, I mean, I knew he was going to lose. Let's be honest. I mean, there's no reason why Ty Dillinger should be beating your champion. I think it's stupid that they put him in that position.
Well, who do you put in that
You know,
position to make it a legitimate win for Jinder Mahal then? Sami Zayn again?
I mean, Sami Zayn, that's what he's there for, or at least that's what it seems like it is, thanks to WWE and their booking of Sami Zayn.
You can't do that. Sami Zayn's got his own storyline going on right now with the Canellises.
Right.
Which, by the way, Sami's going to lose to Mike.
Well, I mean, you thought he was going to win?
No, I didn't. But
What's the last feud that Sami Zayn has won?
Baron Corbin,
Baron Corbin. That's it.
right before he won Money in the Bank. He did
That
win
is it. That is it, though. There is no other feud that he's really won. Other than Kevin Owens way back.
He hasn't really been in another feud since then. Sasha Banks almost turned into the next Dolph Ziggler. One more big loss for her, and it will be tough to come back from that. Yeah, but I see a triple threat match happening at SummerSlam. I really do when it comes to Sasha in that Raw Women's title. I honestly see, because there's a number one contenders match next week, right?
I believe so, yeah.
Who's it between?
Yeah. Well, the number one contender match that I know is definitely happening is between Roman and Samoa Joe.
I don't think there's a women's yet. But I could see easily because Bayley pinned Alexa Bliss last night, and Sasha playing I got the count out, I should still get a rematch. Triple threat runs into play, and then if Bayley does win, I could see Sasha turning heel the next night. I feel like there's a big heel turn coming soon. I don't know who it is, but there's just something in there that I have that feeling that a huge heel turn is coming.
Mm.
Whether or not it happens is beyond me.
If anything, it's going to be Sasha.
I think, but we've said that before. Sasha's bound to turn heel, but she hasn't. So I mean, at this point, I think me predicting who's going to turn heel is just I'm done with it because I've been totally wrong. Now, you get me with a match, I'll predict the right match, but telling me, you ask me who I think is going to turn heel, I can't tell you that because for some reason, I'm really bad at it.
Right.
But yeah, other than that, what else did you think about SmackDown?
SmackDown tonight is sort of Raw, the old Raw. You want to put it that way? It's just like it was just sort of there, I didn't really see too much that really jumped out at me with SmackDown. I'm still really bored with the women's division. I don't know what it is. I'm not. I haven't been really sold on the SmackDown women's division lately, ever since the trading.
Yeah, it's sort of like either with us or against us for one side. Holy shit, Raw is on Christmas and New Year's. Then we're probably going to get a boring show on one of them. Because July 4th, if that didn't show, July 4th went real well.
Yeah. No, let's not do that again.
Right.
I really thought that having Charlotte in the SmackDown Live women's division would actually make things so much better. But so far, it's been so lackluster. And, the biggest feud we've seen with the women so far, since the trade, has been Lana and Naomi, and that feud is just absolutely boring as heck. And it looks like we're going to get a continuation of the feud with Tamina helping out Lana.
Yeah, I think what would help Naomi have a legitimate title run is her facing more than what she's faced since she's been in there. She had the chance of facing Alexa Bliss, but of course she hurt. I want to say it was her knee, had a knee injury, and then had to vacate the title, and then at WrestleMania won it back, and then the trade happened, right? I don't think they had a rematch, or if they did, it was like the SmackDown after WrestleMania, and Naomi retained. But needless to say, she's only faced Lana. She had a match versus Charlotte Flair, got interfered, and then it became the entire women's division versus each other. I think what they're doing with Battleground as a number one contenders match is dumb. Very, very dumb. I think it's really bad, too. So,
Well, I mean, your champion's not going to be defending her title at all. So,
no, she hasn't
like, you're
defended
going
it
to go
since...
without her defending her title for a while.
Yeah, but, they're going to... we say that and they're going to say, well, that's false. She's defended it twice, 2 weeks in a row on SmackDown, which is true. She has. So us saying what we are saying, well, she hasn't really defended her title. Well, it's not true. She's actually defended it 3 times since Money in the Bank, or actually twice since Money in the Bank, 3 times including Money in the Bank.
It's a shame, too, because I really don't count that as title defenses because they were squash matches.
Yeah. And Michael Andrews says, the Usos to me right now are the most relevant tag team on either roster. Could agree with that.
I could totally agree with that because they're the only ones that are actually bringing legitimacy to the tag team division. They have great solid heel promo work. They have good solid heel wrestling. So, the Usos have really improved so much when they did this heel turn. Before I was sort of indifferent to them, and this new attitude and what they bring to the table with this new attitude has been absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, it has. And last week's rap battle, the Usos destroyed. Which I know Alberto Del Rio said that he will be waiting at his restaurant to fight both people, all of them, and then buy them a drink because he's a gentleman. And it's just like, dude,
oh my God,
come on, man.
All that stuff going on with Paige.
There is so much drama between Paige and El Patron. It's not even. It's a waste of time to even report on it. I'm not even gonna waste my time putting videos out there that there's a recording of Paige, and Del Rio fighting. There's a what's it called? Domestic violence on Del Rio right now, and it's just like, I'm so fed up with this. I don't care.
It just got to the point where it's just like, it feels like more like nagging than anything else. It's like that you're poking the line here. Nobody cares anymore. They're not even doing anything with the company. Paige has been out. She's probably not even coming back.
Well, she's still contracted, and all this that's being said is probably not helping her. And she was also seen front row at a TNA taping, but she had a mask on. But it was kind of clear who it was.
Right.
Also, Michael Andrews' comments says, or in chat says, to make things easier, so I would just have number 1 contender matches at pay-per-views and build rivalries on the show. All right, I see where you're getting at with that. But if that's what your small pay-per-views are, you lose viewership at those pay-per-views. Because if I wasn't doing the show, and mostly the small pay-per-views were number 1 contenders matches, like, Battleground will use the women's title. If I am like a viewer and I view, and the only time I ever want to watch WWE content is for the women, I wouldn't watch this weekend. I wouldn't care. If I had to buy a pay-per-view for $50, or if I had to, buy every pay-per-view on the network, I wouldn't waste my time on it, because I can find out Tuesday who the number 1 contender is, and then just wait till the next pay-per-view to watch the title match, especially if the rivalry is going to build on TV.
Well, right now what they're trying to do is they're just trying to buy time for Naomi's next rivalry. And I have a feeling that Carmella is going to cash in very soon. I have a feeling that either right around that 30-day mark where Ellsworth is coming back, and that's probably when you're going to see the cash in. Either that or at SummerSlam.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, I think that we will see a cash-in soon. But I don't think it'll be Corbin.
No, I think it's definitely going to be Carmella first.
Yeah. Because
And I think that if they're smart, they're going to have Carmella win the championship.
Yeah. I don't think that... I don't know. I think that they're going to, jump the gun because Naomi's reign's kind of, looking at it's kind of like, eh. And I think we've all kind of agreed with that. It's just like,
That's a problem, though. They haven't really given us any reason to be excited about her championship reign. She's not really doing anything at the moment.
yeah.
You know, she's defending against the same person in squash matches.
Now, what's going on with Ellsworth? He's banned right now?
Yeah, he's been suspended.
For how
I
long?
think they said it was like 30 days or something like that.
If you want the God honest truth, his contract might be up because it is coming up to that year. If you think about it, it is getting up to that year. He's either in renegotiations or he's legitimate. Well, he's got. I think he might have a few more months left.
Crap, what was it? Money in the Bank? He got his contract or something like that? Like, right around that time?
No, it was around after Backlash, after AJ Styles won it.
That's right.
That's what he got it. Imagine Carmelo or Corbin cashing it in on the very last day that they could. I don't think they would do that because of, for one, there's no point.
It's not. There's no point doing
there's-
it because it's not a surprise at that point.
It's not a
It's
big
like
pay-per-view
they have
anymore around
Well, if
them.
it's not only a big pay-per-view, it's kind of like, all right, well, if you only have one more day to cash in a briefcase, obvious you're going to cash in a briefcase.
And
You're not just going to go.
legitimately, you're not going to wait till the last day and be like, well, I'm not cashing it in.
Right.
And if they do that, what a waste of a year. So, a lot of, I'm actually getting really annoyed with the whole Shinsuke Nakamura and how Shinsuke's having a match tonight. Oh well, no, he's not.
Yeah, they were protecting Shinsuke. Now it's sort of like they're just messing with us with Shinsuke. We're not really getting legitimate matches like with him at all. It's just Baron Corbin come out attacking him, and we're not having a match anymore.
Yeah, if I was to go to a show because of, a TV taping, so Smackdown, for Shinsuke, I probably wouldn't buy the ticket, knowing that more than likely I'm not going to get it. I would be extremely disappointed, so there's no point. Now, I could get the reason why, because for one, Baron Corbin's on a hot streak with, winning the Money in the Bank contract. Shinsuke's kind of on a hot streak. He really hasn't lost a one-on-one match yet.
But don't put them together then. If that's your problem,
Well,
you shouldn't have put those two together to begin with.
Well, I think, for one, they're not going to have that first loss on TV. They're going to save that for a pay-per-view. Which
Yeah.
I don't know who's going to come out on top out of that.
I mean, in all reality, you need Baron Corbin to come out. I mean, if Baron Corbin doesn't win any matches, there's no legitimacy with the briefcase. It's like it would be like Damian Sandow having a briefcase again. Oh, there's no way that he's going to cash in and succeed. If he keeps losing. The thing that made Edge such a good Money in the Bank briefcase owner is that he would win. And it always looked like he was going to lose. He would somehow come out with a way to win, and he couldn't be stopped. And then he finally cashed in on John Cena, and you knew that he was gonna beat him. John Cena was beaten, he was bloody, and Edge was on such a hot streak that he couldn't be touched by anybody else. And that's what they need for Baron Corbin right now. Baron Corbin hasn't been exactly on a hot streak. Like, there's been times where he has been on a hot streak for 1 or 2 weeks, and then he'd lose to Apollo Crews, or out of nowhere lose to Sami Zayn twice, and that's really, I wouldn't say it's hurt him, but it's definitely kind of delayed his, I don't know, his ascension in the top of the ranks, because Baron Corbin has improved. I mean, that's the one thing that we have to take away from this. Baron Corbin has improved by leaps and bounds. And what they need to do is they need to follow through with that. And this Money in the Bank briefcase victory was exactly what he needed to sort of reboot that feeling and get what should have happened originally into the fray now.
Yeah. If you were to ask me whenever he was called up after WrestleMania 32, if I thought that Baron Corbin would ever be a Money in the Bank, Winner, I would straight up tell you no, because I didn't think Baron Corbin was all that great at that time. I
Well,
didn't.
they really didn't show enough of him to get excited for something like that. And in recent months, Baron Corbin has improved in his work, his promos, so it became more of a reality that he could actually be a legitimate top contender in the company.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we've kind of covered everything with SmackDown. I mean, I've left out some bits because of it's, really not important. What's your final take on SmackDown?
I think it was an okay SmackDown. I wouldn't exactly say it was a sleeper match, like a sleeper night where you just kind of want to lay down and go to bed. But it wasn't exactly like exciting. I was just sort of watching it and kind of like I feel like doing something else right now.
Yeah.
I mean, if I had to give it a number, I'd say a 4 or 5, and that's from me. And I'm normally generous with my numbers.
Yeah. But I think with that being said, my final thought is I think SmackDown could have been better. Wasn't really into the show tonight. So that's just me being honest. And I'm one to say that it really did feel like a B show. Like, that's one thing I think that popped up in my head as I was watching is like, man, this really does feel like it's, a B show out of the two. So I think with that being said, be sure to tune in or watch us. Make sure you hit the notifications button for when we do upload. We're going to be uploading this Thursday, keeping it real. We're going to be talking about AJ Styles winning the United States Championship, more on Austin Aries being released, and obviously more news around WWE and the world of wrestling, including New Japan Pro Wrestling. So with that being said, until next time, peace out.